Hello everyone, Big Friendly Wargamer here. I'm going to do my latest set of unboxing for 40k Conquest. So I've got issues 63, 64, 65 and 66 here. With some Death Guard thankfully, so I can actually get back on painting my Death Guard blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera up and I'm going to start unboxing the bags, show you what's in each one, and yeah, do that now. Right, so here we are with a little bit of a different setup this time. As you can see, it's from the side. I've not got it from above. I'm going to show you the magazines as I always do. So we'll start with issue 63, which has got some Death Guard stuff in it. So we've got the magazine there. And we've got lots of bases because there's 11 models in here for Death Guard. So the bases I'm just going to put up there for now. So what you've got is the same sprue as we had last time. Right, so that's a better angle, much better. So as you can see, this is the sprue here. I'm going to give you a bit of a zoom in. Right, so it's 10 Poxwalkers, which are the same Poxwalkers as we've had before, which is fine because they're quite nice models. It's not a problem. And there's a Death Guard Plague Marine in here as well, which I've got bits for on another sprue somewhere, and he's exactly the same as this guy. So yeah, but that's fine. So another Death Guard, 11 Poxwalkers. So I'm going to put that up there where it's hidden, and I'm going to zoom out and give you a look at the magazine. So there you go, issue 63. So talking about Death Shroud Terminators, which unfortunately you don't actually get any of them in this Conquest set, but oh well. Showing you what their armor was like pre-heresy, so before the fall to chaos, and what they look like now. Legacy of Secrecy, history of the Dark Angels. Let's just move my laptop a little bit so I don't catch that. Right, and then going on to the Eldari, which are the 3 different types of Elder races in the galaxy. So you've got the Dark Elder, the Craftworld Elder, and the Harlequins. Give you a little bit of a history on some of them. Going on to the Raven Guard successor chapters. So you've got 4 of them there, another 4 on there. Now they're going on to the Silver Templars, which is the actual magazine's own Space Marine chapter. So the Silver Templars, it's giving you a bit of a history on some of their battles that they've made up. This going on talking about different Space Marine chapters. A lot of this is about Space Marine chapters today. And obviously he's showing you how to build your Plague Marine and your Poxwalkers again, which is the same as from the previous issue. Now, they really didn't need to put this in here again, but they have. And the Destroyer Plague. Moving on to say about the rules. This is rules for the new mission and stuff. Hold back the Horde, which is, I assume it's going to be zombies attacking. Now this is, strictly speaking, this would be a terrain piece you could cut out and add it to one of the maps that you've got, the gaming mats that they provide, but I'm not going to do that. Don't need to look at what's in the next issue because I'm about to show you right now. So issue 64, you get a pot of Astra Granite. Great. I've already got like 4 pots of Astra Granite, but that's fine. You always need more paints. If you're going to carry on painting for a long time, you need more paints. So, right, issue 64. Right, talking about the Sol system, which is basically Earth's solar system, even in the future. It's not called Earth anymore, it's called Holy Terra. But it's still called the Sol system, which is the same name for our system as it is now. As you can see, Terra there, which is guided by Phalanx, which is the Imperial Fist Fortress Monastery. Let's just let's zoom that out a little bit. Okay, so you can see a bit better. And then Luna, which is the moon. Mars, which is Mars. Titan, which is the Grey Knights' homeworld, is a moon of Saturn. If you know astrology and you know about space and stuff, you'll know about that anyway. Talking about Chaos Rising. It's going on to talk about the time of ending, which is the current time, well, slightly before the current time of the 40k universe as it is. Giving you some bits and pieces for history. Talking about the Tyranids, so 40k factions. The first time they've spoken about Tyranids, I believe, which are the Great Devourer. They're devouring planets, basically. So telling you about the synapse creatures, the different splinter fleets that you get, showcasing some Tyranid models alongside some Ultramarines as per usual. Now, strictly speaking, my Tyranids are High Fleet Hydra, but they're painted slightly differently. Like you can see right here. That's my Gene Stealer, one of my Gene Stealers. Talking about Space Marine drop pods, they're basically a delivery system for Space Marines. I own one of these, considering I've collected Space Marines for so long. I probably should have more, but I've only ever bought one. Chronicles of Blood, which is talking about Blood Angels, which is quite on par with this issue because it's got Tyranids in it a lot. Talking about their battles and stuff. How to paint layered highlights. So going on to giving you a bit more definition on some of your models. So using Thousand Suns Blue and Temple Guard Blue, which I believe were in previous issues. Which is a bit weird, they've just thrown it in here, but there you go. So yeah, going through different models, adding a bit more colour to each of the models as you go. Mostly Death Guard, but you've got a bit of Ultramarines there as well. And then custom mat setups. So this is adding your mats together to make a bigger battlefield. So I think if you add 3 together, it makes 6x4, but I could be wrong. 6x4 is generally your average battlefield size in 40k. And then obviously different ways of setting up your battlefields. Then new mission, destroy the batteries, which I find it very weird they've put something like this in here, because you don't get these in. That's actually two parts from different models, and you're not getting this in the set at all. And the actual mission itself is called Silence Guns, and there you go. That's where it's come from, because they've done a cut out terrain piece that you could lay on one of your mats to make it a 2D terrain. Okay, so issue 65, blue sprues, so it means it's Space Marines in here. So I'll put the magazine to one side, you don't need to see the bases. So right, so this is something a little bit different from what they've done so far. I'll zoom in. Zooming out. I'll get hang of zoom in sometime in the next century probably. Right, so strictly speaking, these are 30k models. because you've got a Space Marine Praetor in Cataphractii Terminator armor, who can be used as a Space Marine captain in his Cataphractii armor, and you've got a Chaplain in Mark IV plate armor. These were originally released in the Betrayal of Calth box set. The Terminator captain was supposed to be an Ultramarine, and the Chaplain was supposed to be a Word Bearer. But they've decided to put this in here, which is weird, because everything so far, apart from the Scouts and the bikes, have been Primaris Marines, and these aren't. Now, these may get added to my Blood Angels for my Heresy army at some point, or they might not. I don't know yet. We'll see. Play it by ear and see how it goes. We'll give you a look at the magazine. So it's issue 65. Talking about Space Marine Terminators. It's about time they did, even if they are a bit rubbish in 40k now. Space Marine Terminators in previous editions have been some of the hardest units to actually kill, but in current 8th edition they are quite useless. They're not useless, but they're not as tough as they should be. Talking about Space Wolf Terminators, and you've got different types of Terminators. So you've got the normal Terminator squads, and you've got the close combat squads. Talking about Khorne, the Blood God, which is one of the Chaos Gods. One of his models, the Bloodthirster, which I love the Khorne models. I've got a small Khorne army as well. Talking about the Tyrannic Wars, which is the wars against the Tyranids, but mostly the Blood Angels are fighting that at the moment. That's why you've got a picture of Blood Angel fighting Tyranids. Again, showing you different creatures with the different fleets. Going on to build your Space Marine Heroes, which is the sprues that I showed you. Oh, they've painted them as Ultramarines, but obviously you can paint them as you like. They've put that down as a captain. Strictly speaking, he's not a captain, he is a chaplain, because that's a Croesus Arcanum, which is the chaplain weapon. So they've got that a little bit wrong, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Going on to painting them. They've actually gone quite far detailed with these now. They look pretty good. Then telling you how to build army lists. And it gives you an army roster, that's pretty good. So obviously you can photocopy that. They give you permission to photocopy that. It's not a complete guide, but it will help you to remember what's in each. Mission briefing, lead by example. Obviously going to be coordinated strike, which is using your captains and stuff. And then it gives you the two different captain profiles, one in Cataphractii Terminator armor, one in normal power armor, which should be Artificer armor, I believe. Nice power armor. And blank page, great. In issue 66, which is why I'm so happy about getting these, is more Death Guard. So I think this is the first set of 4 where you've actually got 2 Death Guard things in one go. So very happy with it. Even if it is just another single model, but this is a single model that I haven't got yet. So I'll put the magazine there, basing up there. Now this guy, zoom in, this is the Nurgle Icon Bearer. He's a Plague Marine, and he's got Bolter, he's got Plague Knife, and he's carrying a big Nurgle icon. Now I have no idea what the icons actually do. I'll have to look this up in the Death Guard Codex at some point to see what it does. But it's a different model, so it's pretty cool. And whereas the Astrogranite, that pot of Astrogranite is £4 or £4.50 or whatever, yeah. So that issue you're kind of making a loss on. Well, that's a 15 quid model easily, or 1750 I think it is now. So you're making your value up on these as you go. So I'll put that up there. In issue 66, talking about Black Templars. So Black Templars are a successor chapter of the Imperial Fists. Going on to show some of their heraldry and stuff, and probably their Crusade honours, I would think. Talking about Renegades of Nurgle. So these are the Nurgle the Space Marines that have turned to worship Nurgle, like the Death Guard have, but they may not necessarily be Death Guard, and showing you the different Heresy Astartes war bands for Nurgle. Going on to talk about Space Wolves and giving you some of their history and their background story, and talking about Craftworld Elder, and again showing you the different craft worlds. So what you got to realise with 40k is each army itself is split into factions. So the Craftworld Elder have 5 generic ones there, but there's more, and you can make up your own as you go as well. I mean, my Necron Dynasty is the Shifter Dynasty, it's called, but it follows the Methric traits. Now, they haven't actually talked about Necrons at all in any of these Conquest magazines yet, but that's okay. Showcasing the Craftworld Elder models. So you've got the Phoenix Lord Canadras, Warp Spider, you've got Ulthway Farseer, you've got Illic Night Spear, and then you've got Howling Banshee. Now, that model is old. They do plastic for Howling Banshees now, I believe, and obviously showing you a nice picture of Battlefield, showing you more models. So that's what the Guardians, the generic fighters, look like. Now moving on to how to build the Icon Bearer. So it's quite straightforward. He's got a left arm goes on his left arm, a right arm goes on his right arm, do you know what I mean? Showing you the whole layout there and how to paint him. Now they're going to go quite far with how to paint this guy because they've released most of the paints now. Magazine's a little bit stuck together, but it's okay. So they've gone quite far with him. He looks pretty finished. So the mission briefing is called Opening the Warp Portal, which I assume is going to involve the Plague Bearer. Opening the portal, I assume it involves the Standard Bearer, the Icon Bearer, and that's the rules for the Plague Marines, which you've had before. You don't need again. The magazine is a little bit stuck together, as you can see there. It's a bit damaged, but I'm not too fussed about that. That's okay. I'm not someone who needs everything in pristine shape. And looking forward, next issues, which is issue 67, you've got Space Marine Sniper Scouts. Hooray. Issue 68 is another Hemetrope Reactor piece. So if you've already got one of these, you can have a second one. So there you go. That's been issues 63 to 66. So there you go. Hope that's been useful to someone. I think we're, what, 14 issues away now from the end of the actual set of Conquest. There's 80 issues in total. Now I know the next set I get the Tallyman, and I get the Cal Spawn the set after. But after that there's no Death Guard, so I should have the army finished by February, I would think. Ooh, this should be zoomed out. That's better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get building these guys so I can start doing my blog again. And yeah, hopefully that's been helpful to you to see what's in Conquest. I'm planning to do a bit of a review at the end of once all the Conquest magazines are finished. Which I worked out will probably be about April, maybe May. For Death Guard, they're going to be finished earlier because the last 2 sets, there's nothing to do with Death Guard in it. But I'll keep reviewing them because it is 40k Conquest. I'm very unlikely to do the AOS one. It just doesn't really interest me. But the Conquest has been good. Getting a brand new army fully painted has been great. And I've played a few games with them now. Hoping to get some more games with them next year. And yeah, so if these unboxings have been of any good to you, if they've been of any help, then please feel free to subscribe, throw me a like, and yeah, give me a comment. Tell me you didn't like it, tell me you do like it. It's up to you. And I'll see you hopefully at the end of the week for my Death Guard blog. So, Big Friendly Wargamer, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.